When I hear the majority leader of the other party say, quote, a time of war, when I sat with the majority leader in a rules committee meeting upstairs and he said, we're at war, and I'm wondering when we voted to go to war. If we're going to have a proxy war and we're going to give $40 billion to Ukraine because we want to look all fancy with our blue and yellow ribbons and feel good about ourselves, maybe we should actually have a debate in this chamber, a debate in this body, because the American people expect us to do that.
With the cost of living is not going down.
I just want to say something. To all you rich people that have money, we're the poor people that need to make you rich. So you really need to do something about us that are out here in the streets, because without us, you don't get no money. You're going to go bankrupt because you don't have that poor person working into your warehouses and creating that money for you. So you better really think about we all need each other and start doing this thing the right way, because without the poor people, you can't survive. And that's reality, and that's common sense. These people.
Do you think all these hundreds of people here would go to work if there were if they had a place
to go to work
home
and live?
To?
Yeah.
But they can't. They're not going to go to work living here, is what you're saying.
They can't.
Right.
Who's going to hire a person that can't bathe every day?
Yeah. So a lot of these people haven't showered.
Their nutrition is not right. They're not bathing every day. It's all that shit is real. It's real in this life. If you think it ain't real, come live down here for a week.
In Washington, the Senate overwhelmingly passing a new $40 billion Ukraine aid bill. Meanwhile, President Biden meeting with the leaders of Finland and Sweden at the White House about their NATO applications.
Yeah, Allison, well, roughly 3 weeks after President Biden initially requested this funding, the Senate passed today this 10th aid package for Ukraine, and at $40 billion. It's much more than President Biden's initial request. This $40 billion is divided into a couple sections. I'll tell you a little bit about where this money is going to go. There will be $19 billion in defense and intelligence support. $15 billion will go to the State Department for humanitarian and refugee aid, almost $4.5 billion to disaster aid, and $5 billion will go to the oversight of this money. As you mentioned, Allison, 11 senators opposed this bill, all of them Republicans. I believe we have a graphic here to show you exactly who those senators were, and all of them had differing reasons for why they were opposed to this bill. Some of them argued it's just too much money. Some of them said Europe should be responsible for footing a little bit more of this bill. Others said that there are other crises that Americans are dealing with, such as the crises at the U.S.-Mexico border, inflation, high gas prices, that the money in this package, some of it could go towards alleviating. One senator, specifically Senator Rand Paul, who opposed this bill, single-handedly held up the passage of this bill for a week after he requested the assignment of an inspector general to oversee where exactly this funding would go. At the end of the day, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer decided against that it should not be in the language of this legislation, and they moved forward with this bill anyway. But despite all this, there was a success in the Senate today. This bill now heads to President Biden's desk for signature, something that he, I'm sure, has been eagerly awaiting doing for several weeks now, Allison.
All right, Mike, pardon me. Let's talk about what's going on there. Secretary of State Antony Blinken announcing $100 million new military aid for Ukraine about an hour after that Senate vote we were just talking about. What is in that new package?
Yeah, and as Ali indicates, President Biden eager to sign that new aid package into law. He'll probably do so on his way here to South Korea. But interestingly, in the statement in which the president thanked congressional leadership for getting this through so quickly, he announced the latest, it's actually the 10th, what they call drawdown of defensive equipment for the Ukrainians. This is the 10th time that they are drawing down from the DoD stockpiles for this. And you see some of the equipment there. It's howitzers, tactical vehicles to get those howitzers to the Ukrainians quickly, and also counter-artillery radar. This is equipment that the administration says can really support the kind of efforts the Ukrainians have been waging valiantly in the face of Russia's aggression. Now, this brings to about $4 billion the total amount of security assistance the Biden administration has provided since Russia began its invasion. But as Ali also indicated, the balance in this new aid package is significantly more tilted towards the security assistance side. So there's a lot more on the way.
I want to thank the Congress, Democrats and Republicans, for their support for the people of Ukraine. In addition to bolstering Ukraine's resistance on the battlefield, we're also demonstrating our support for the people of Ukraine. Today, the United States is announcing that we intend to provide an additional $500 million in direct economic assistance to the Ukrainian government. This brings our total economic support for Ukraine to $1 billion in the past 2 months. This is money the government can help use to stabilize their economy, to support communities that have been devastated by the Russian onslaught, and pay the brave workers that continue to provide essential services to the people of Ukraine. I'm announcing a program, Unite for Ukraine, a new program to enable Ukrainians seeking refuge to come directly from Europe to the United States. This new humanitarian parole program will complement the existing legal pathways available to Ukrainians, including immigrant visas and refugees processing. It will provide an expedient channel for secure legal migration from Europe to the United States for Ukrainians who have a U.S. sponsor, such as a family or an NGO. This program will be fast, it will be streamlined, and will ensure the United States honors its commitment to go to the people of Ukraine and need not go through our southern border.